Hi and welcome. My name is Cass.
And I'm Nyq.
And we're here talking about a lot of new music and what's going on right now in goth, industrial, some like electronic pop, and more. And so we're going to start out with albums. And our first person we're going to start out with is...
the act Odonis. They have a new EP that just came out April 12th. It's called Reaction. Actually have it right here. I'm loving this album. They're, like I said, one of my favorite new bands. They had this track Needs a few years back that caught my attention, and I've been just like hooked on them since. This one is definitely something you should check out if you like harder dance, noisy, synthy, industrial, and electronic music.
Their track Insect off of this album
is
amazing.
Awesome. Very hard punk kind of vibe to it. If you get a chance to check them out in your area, if they come through, definitely go and see them. They're from Canada, but they've been coming through the U.S. quite a bit. But yeah, we'll play a track, a little snippet from Insect for you right now with Odonis. Another act that I think you'll really enjoy is called Multiple Man. They just had an album that came out on March 25th. It's a new EP as well called On The Hog. Another fantastic, dancey, electronic act. If you haven't heard them, check them out on their Bandcamp. There's a track on this one called You Say Yes that I'm just loving.
It's really like 80s.
They do have a retro vibe. It's a lot of samples, a lot of interesting programming.
Like air drums at one point, I do believe. It was, I really like it though because it's that kind of like 80s retro resurgence that we've seen a lot in just like, synthwave and any type of vaporwave.
A familiar feel. Yeah, it also just feels new.
It's nostalgia.
And it is a little with, synth is huge right now, and they kind of ride that synthwave kind of vibe a little bit, that nostalgia vibe a little bit.
But it's super good, and they do it extremely well.
And I love, like I said, the samples they do, and and they're coming through town as well. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But,
of course.
But yeah, so definitely check out Multiple Man. They have a vinyl EP release as well, if you're into that. I don't have it here physically yet, but when I do, I'll make sure to share it with you guys.
It's called On The Hog, and it was released in March, so go pick that up and enjoy listening to it.
Still pretty new.
So next we have Physical Wash. Physical Wash is actually by a member of High Functioning Flesh called Susan Subtract, and they have made this small EP
side project. I'm not sure. There hasn't been it's been a little while since there's been any High Functioning Flesh material, but if you were a fan of High Functioning Flesh at all, you're gonna love Susan Subtract's new project, Physical Wash. The EP, or I think it's a full album, is called Physical Death. And yeah, I think it just came out a few days ago as well. And that's you can go over to Bandcamp and check it out. I think there's a limited cassette release for it.
Yeah, the song that we really liked was called Deprived. It had a really good... It kind of reminds me of like this like 80s industrial like newsy person standing on the street and like just like it's saying like this is what you need to listen to right now.
It's got a little Nisareb kind of vibe to it. It's got, like I said, that little bit of that throwback with the programming and some of the beats, and it's super dancey. Got a little kind of punk vibe to it. Check it out. If you're, like I said, if you're a fan of High Functioning Flesh, you're gonna love it.
And then we also have, of course, Mr. Kitty is out with a 30-track album from Negative Gain Records.
Ephemeral, If you haven't heard it yet, it's been out for a little bit now. Ephemeral is an amazing album, 30 solid tracks, the full spectrum.
I could not come up with 30 solid tracks. I don't know how. Yeah, Mr. and there's like highs and there's lows, and then he actually explores like all his avenues. And
if you're a Mr. Kitty fan at all, this album, it's got some really great dancey tracks, a lot of really great emotional stuff, all of that. Just like super fun, angsty vibe, synthy, dancey, angsty vibe that you love from Mr. Kitty. Definitely outdid it in this album. Yeah. So that's you can go check it out as well. That's from Negative Gain.
And then also from Negative Gain, of course, from Sydney, we have Goo Munday.
Goo Munday.
And they have a released album, 9 Lives, that was on March 15th. It's super good. The song we're pretty happy about is Anti-Life.
Yeah, I like Anti-Life. There's also, they had the single Start a Fire. And that one was also really great too. It's like very little witch house vibe to it. They're from Australia, so I don't know how or when they'll be coming to the U.S. to do some shows. Hopefully soon. If you make some noise, hopefully they'll come over to the U.S. and play. But I'm excited about more stuff to come from them.
Yeah, and then Mr. Kitty, who we just talked about, actually did a remix, and it's called F Your Face, or F star CK Your Face.
Yeah, that's been out for a little while too. But Mr. Kitty collaborating with the other Negative Gain artists is always awesome.
Yeah, it's always really awesome. Okay, and then...
we have a couple bands that are more local to Chicagoland that just had releases that came out, I think, that you're going to like. The first band is called Feline. Almost like... they're a dancey electronic act that is vocal-driven, female vocalist. It's almost like, how would you describe her?
I said it was like Stevie Nicks with like dark wave, Dolly Parton.
Very witchy,
areas, like witchy, but also just like Dolly Parton. Half of her voice is the fact that she has this like interesting sound range that she uses, and I feel like Feline has that interesting sound range where you have like dips and cavorts and like her voice.
Yeah,
so I always like that.
The EP that's out is called Blood Sisters, and I really enjoyed the title track Blood Sisters off of that EP. Yeah. So you can check that one out. That's also over on Bandcamp. I think
it is more like pop dance wave. So
it's like a limited CD release as
well. But it was
good. And they're local to Chicago. So if you live in the city, you'll be able to check them out at some shows locally coming up here as well. They're playing, I think, with Multiple Man, but we'll talk about that when we talk about live shows a little bit later. But yeah, they're fantastic.
And then we have another local group that's called Pixel Grip.
These guys are so great. I'm a huge fan. This is like a little bit on the poppier side, more indie pop, but they have a really kind of strong electronic element. They're very dancey.
They call themselves Disco Delinquent, and it's a perfect...
How can you argue with Disco Delinquent? That's a great description. They're a lot of fun, and they just had their album drop
April 12th.
April 12th, so you can check that out.
Heavy Handed.
Heavy Handed is out now. It's a full album. It's beautifully produced, and I think they're gonna produce some big waves. So they're one to watch.
And we're also gonna play you a 30-second tidbit, and you'll hear that about now.
You're my California man, and you embrace your desires, and your hands twisted on your day. That super Hollywood style, and you could have it all, but you say love has got you jaded. When you say that you don't need me, it drives me crazy when you fake it.
And last but certainly not least, we have live shows and tours in your Chicago area, which makes me sound like a news person.
A little bit.
But coming up first, we have IAMX.
IAMX in Chicago at Talia Hall, May 4th. This is going to be a cool show. Talia Hall is an awesome venue. They got a really good sound system, a lot of room to dance, so it should be a lot of fun.
Unfortunately, also the same night, or also fortunately the same night, but unfortunately for those who are going to the IAMX show, we have actors from Vancouver, which they're amazing. They played last year at Cold Waves. And then we have Bootblacks, which are playing this year at Cold Waves. And then, of course, we have Bellwether Syndicate, which is local. And that's happening at the Chop Shop. But you're going to have to make a decision between the two.
So, if you're in Chicago, definitely don't stay at home on May 4th. Find out, if you want to go to see the IAMX or you want to go see the actors. They're both going to be cool shows. It's a tough decision, definitely. And then the next night on May 5th,
it's
one's
going to
at
be Comic Christ. They're doing
Bottom
their
Lounge.
European U.S. tour, and then a couple of days later, there's of course Perturbator with GOST
back
and
at Talia Hall.
Replicant.
Yeah, this one's also sounds like it's going to be a great show. Perturbator coming out with another big tour. Ghost, always awesome show. And Talia, like I said, great sound system, so this one should also be a lot of fun.
And that one is going to be May 9th. And then...
the next day after that, May 10th is... They just don't stop. May 10th is at Lincoln Hall with Trust, TRST Trust. This one, they're promoting their new album. It's back-to-back nights, but why not, go check both of them out. We also have Multiple Man coming through here on May 17th at Burlington Bar, playing with Visceral Anatomy and Feline. This one's going to be a really cool show too. Multiple Man doesn't play a whole lot of shows, so...
No, so this one should actually be like one you should go to, check them out. I'm definitely excited to see them live. It's always one thing to hear a music video or
I'm excited
a song.
I'm excited to go and dance.
Yeah, that's the big thing. You have to dance, feel the atmosphere, feel
Multiple
the
Man
beat.
Live is going to be a great time. I haven't had a chance to see him yet, so I'm excited. And then we have Hosiko
May
returning.
18th at Cobra Lounge,
Coming back.
That's going to be, of course, like just dancing your butt off.
So if you're in Chicago, make sure you go check out Hosiko. But we love to see live shows. I think it's great to support the bands when they come through your city and check them out live. We had an opportunity not too long ago to check out a band called White Ring live. They don't play very often, so when they came through Chicago at this Witch House night at the Underground Lounge that's called Black Magic, we decided we had to go check them out.
Of course, and so there are a lot of really awesome local witch house bands that played that night. Avatrix on Fire, Saint,
Plagues.
Plague.
It was like 5-6 bands. It was an awesome night. Witch house music and White Ring. They were very cool. As a fan of this style of music, it's always hard to know how it's going to translate live. It's a lot of like creepy, whispery, subtle vocals, and it was a little difficult live. They had some technical difficulties.
Personally, I think a lot of that was just the venue and how it's set up, and the fact that they used a lot of reverb going through, their systems, and so you had this really low whispering. And with the Underground Lounge, of course, you have your speakers, and they need to be probably about 8 feet away from the stage, so you can actually get both speakers and figure out what's going on.
It's difficult for that vocal style to really project, but the energy was high. It was a lot of fun. The audience was loving them. They really, were super excited to be there and to dance to them live.
It was really interesting music. I actually really liked it a lot. Once I started listening to them on their album, I was like, this is really awesome. I kind of wish that I hadn't been as close to the stage as I was. I feel like if I had gone back a little bit, I probably would have been able to hear a lot more of everything that was going on.
We had a great time at the White Ring show, and I actually got a little bit of footage of the live set, and we're going to share that with you guys now.
Remember, if you have any albums, songs, bands, tours, or live shows that you think we need to know about, let us know.
And until next time, thanks for watching.